Okay, guys, so welcome to the channel. If you're new to KounterSteer Media, then what we do here is feature time attack drivers, specifically drivers from Global Time Attack and Gridlife, along with a few GLTC drivers covering their stories and basically giving spectators a feel of who the competitors are. So that's basically what we do here. For those of you who've been following on Facebook, you would have been aware of this. We've been doing I've been doing it from November. For those of you who are just coming across me on YouTube, I'll leave a link to a Facebook page in the description below so you guys can check out the articles there. Now, in today's video, I'll be covering the story of Alex Moss. Now, this article was written from November, so a lot of things here are outdated, to say the least. So let's get into it. So Alex is British born and raised and has been in motorsports since he was a kid, but never really participated in any form of motorsports other than a little bit of karting until he got to the US at age 18. Alex was also a big fan of WRC, and he grew up watching the likes of Colin McRae, Richard Burns, Tommy McKinnon, and he was also interested in Formula One. When he moved to the US right after college, he bought a 2003 WRX and autocrossed the car a lot. And then he moved on to a few Evos and eventually got out of autocrossing and moved to HPDE. When I asked Alex about the S2000, he responded by saying that he just kind of fell into the S2000. He was tired of following spare wheels and tires around with his Evo, and he wanted something simpler that he could just show up and drive, and would make him a better driver. So he found an S2000 CR for sale and bought that. After like 10 years of doing autocross and HPDE in that, he got hooked on Time Attack and he bought the yellow car that now became SuperK, and that was in 2017. Originally, he planned on just having the car, doing a ton of laps in the car, but after going to a few global Gridlife events and going to a super lap battle to recruit one of his friends, he got the competitive bug and decided to switch to Time Attack. Now about the car. What makes Alex's S2000 a bit more special than all the other S2000s that have competed in Gridlife over the years is that his car is K-swapped. Alex's car currently has a stock K24 in it. When I asked why, the response I got was the following. Sorry guys, I'm a bit sick. So that came, and that quote, so that came from ABCC Gridlife event, which is Autobahn Country Club Gridlife event in 2017, right after I bought the S2000. We were just sitting around the paddock and Andy Smothergaard from ASM said that I should let him K-swap it because I'd get an easy 300 wheel horsepower naturally aspirated. Ryan Tyler was there and he also kinda egged that on, so that's how the project got going. We never made it to 300 wheel horsepower naturally aspirated, but since we far surpassed that with the turbos. The broad torque band is really nice with the K24. It's generally slightly less peak power, but a much broader power curve. And before the trips to RPM, we dropped 4 seconds off our time, from having gone from a 211 wheel horsepower F22C to a 204 wheel horsepower K24. End quote. I amounted to that being because of the K series being possibly lighter. Well, that was just my thought, and due to the wider power band, but Alex alluded that he doubts the weight is what made much of a difference between the F22 and the K24, but the wider power band really helped. According to Alex, there's a lot of issues with the K24 and the S2000 chassis to get it work. At the time, it was not something that was commonly done as a swap back then. That being said, there were a lot of teething troubles that presented themselves, and Alex and the guys that worked in the car had to figure them out. But ASM has pretty much ironed out all the issues. The turbo kit used was not actually an off-the-shelf kit it's actually not an off-the-shelf kit that was modified to fit, but instead was designed from the ground up. In Alex's words, no, not off shelf at all. We've kind of pieced together everything together. So we're using the Garrett G25-660 and a TF-Works Robo Drive exhaust manifold with a custom exhaust. On the intake, we are using a K-Miata intake manifold and a bunch of piping parts that we have from the supercharger kit. Alex had the factory wiring harness ripped out completely and rewired the car using Hardwire Electronics PDM system. Alex said that saved a lot of weight in the car and that gave them a lot of control over the electronics and also simplified it. For suspension, Alex currently uses Reinharte R2s, which were custom built for his specific car. The car weighs 2,600 pounds and makes 530 horsepower at the wheels in their highest tune, but the car has been competing with a bit under 500 horsepower of last season and puts it to the ground through a 265 with Yokohama AO52s or Nankang CR-1s, which is a new tire. In terms of Aero, the car's Aero is basically designed by Zebulon MSC. Alex thinks that they've provided him with the best aero package in the class with their 3D printed splitter and wing. And I'll put the build list to Alex's SuperK in the description below. I know that was a little bit rambly, and I did study here and there, but like I said earlier on, I've come down with the flu the past couple days. And I decided, what the hell, let's just make this video anyways. So let me know your thoughts in the comments below, and I guess I'll see you guys on the next one. Oh, and the photos that will be shown in the video were taken by Rob Wilkinson. I'll put his Instagram in the description as well. Later, guys.